Hey guys, what's up? This is Insanity, and this video is me wrapping up my run on the first Crash Bandicoot game, having obtained all the gems and all the relics with the bare minimum of each one being gold. And this video consists of me fighting Cortex and getting the regular ending followed by the best ending. If there's any reason to go back to Crash 1 at this point, I probably have at least 3. The first one being the Lost Treasures DLC once it releases. The second one is doing a perfect run for a generator level as if I were obtaining a gem for it for the first time. And the last one is to maybe upgrade the gold relics to platinum if I'm feeling ambitious. Though after Road to Nowhere, High Road, and Sunset Vista, I'm not quite itching to get back into the game for the last reason. Either way, I finally played through and 100% plus completed the only PS1 era Crash Bandicoot game I've never played in its entirety. I remember getting the original Crash Bandicoot along with Crash Team Racing on Christmas, and I was only ever able to play about 2 levels at most. The PS1 had some unusual difficulty in loading the disc, so I always was getting a black screen and I couldn't really play it all the way through to begin with. Plus, the lack of a proper save system that Crash 2 Onward would have was a real detriment, and this was all before I even found out that to do a 100% completion of the game, you need to go through each level flawlessly with no deaths whatsoever, and considering how difficult Crash Bandicoot 1 is on certain levels, I definitely don't think I'd be up to the task if I were to play it in its entirety back with a completionist mentality back then. Now that I've completed a game with some luxury afforded, such as a proper save system and flawless runs only being necessary for colored gems and relics, I think I may take a shot at the original Crash Bandicoot with all of its unforgiving elements, given that I have a computer that can handle emulation. It'll certainly be fun to rage again, but even if I mess up a lot, I at least have a feel for the levels and how they play out, so that'll help. What do I think of the game now that I finally played it? Well, it's a good game, certainly. It's a great platformer, an element that gets downplayed in Crash 2 and 3, and as mentioned before, it gets very difficult. It's easily the most challenging of the 3 PS1 era Crash games. Now, is the difficulty fair? Are the levels and mechanics designed in a way that you can overcome the difficulty with skill and patience? I can't really outright say the game is unfair, but I think that even after developing tons of skill and patience, Crash 1 is still going to remain a challenging experience. At most, you'll get people who just make it look easy. I appreciate a challenge, but the sequels are arguably better designed in the sense of providing a fun and balanced gaming experience, while having challenges that can be overcome with skill and patience. That's not to say the sequels are better than Crash 1 in every way. The platforming elements were at their best in Crash 1, and gimmicky levels were kept to a minimum. On the whole, Crash 1 is a good game that's just unrefined. It's just missing certain moves that later games would have, such as sliding and slide jumping, 2 moves that would be really useful in Crash 1. And while they thought long and hard about the platforming aspects of every level, they haven't really balanced the escalation of levels. I mean, the really difficult levels are thrown as curveballs at you so that you don't get complacent about your progression throughout the game, instead of naturally coming about as you go. Crash 2 and 3 slowly escalate the difficulty of levels so you can keep pace and have fun along the way. It's the one thing keeping Crash 1 from being truly enjoyable, although I enjoyed it nonetheless. There's also some unusual collision detection that plagues Crash and Sane Trilogy as a whole. So combine that with Crash 1 being a challenging game, and the platforming aspects being the most relevant, and the experience can be somewhat masochistic. That being said, I'm grateful that I finally played the one PS1 era Crash game that has eluded me for so long, having played the other 2 and beat them with 100% completion way back when. That's the gameplay and commentary, hope you enjoyed it, and Insanity is out.